It's all right. We back over here. We in John 8. Where you was at, Sim?
You was in 36.
What is 36? No, I'm saying if I make sure y'all wasn't reading nothing else because I done lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in John 8 and 36. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. I know that you're Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me because my Abba, Yahushua said unto him, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. So let's get back over here to Genesis chapter 18, talking about doing the works of Abraham. It was something else. That's what it was. Give me Isaiah 9 and 6. That's the part. That's the element of the game that I ain't got. That I almost forgot. That was going along with that Genesis 18. Isaiah 9 and 6.
It said, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor.
That's right.
Mighty Elohim, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Shalom.
Prince of Shalom.
There is no end of the increase of his government, and the Shalom on the throne of David, and on his kingdom to order it, to establish it with judgment and justice.
He gonna do what?
Establish it with judgment and with justice.
So we know that's Mishpat and Sadak.
From now on, even forever.
Even forever. Come on over here to Genesis 18 and 11. We talked about this a little bit last night. I'll breeze past that part till we get to the main part. Now Abraham and Sarah, old, well stricken in age, it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And Yahuwah said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? At the time appointed, I will return unto Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, no, but you did laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And Yahuwah said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. 34, please. What you want? Go sit down somewhere.
Then said Mary unto the Malachim, how shall this be, seeing I know not a man?
Go ahead.
The Malachim answered and said unto her, the Ruach HaKadosh shall come upon you, and the power of the highest shall overshadow you.
That's right.
Therefore also that Kadosh thing which shall be born of you shall be called the son of Elohim.
Called what?
The son of Elohim.
He'll be called what?
The son of Elohim.
This is why it's important as we talking about Abraham and not Abram. Go ahead.
And behold, your cousin Elizabeth, she have also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her who was called barren. For with Elohim nothing shall be impossible.
That's right.
And Mary said, behold, the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me according to your word. And the Malachim departed from her. And Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into the city of Judah. And entered into the house of Zacharias and saluted Elizabeth. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Ruach HaKadosh.
Go ahead.
And she spake out with a loud voice and said, Baruch you among women, and Baruch the fruit of your womb. And when this is to me...
Back me up to 31, 30. I don't know. Luke 1 and 30, that's what I need.
And the Malachim said unto her, fear not, Mary, for you have found favor with Elohim, and behold, you shall conceive in your womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua.
That's what you're going to call him. Remember, Isaac's name was given to him in the womb.
He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest.
He'll be called the Son of the Highest, the Son of Elohim. Go ahead.
And the Lord Elohim shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
Give the throne to who?
His father David.
Ain't that what you see in Isaiah 9? And he going to do justice and judgment on that throne. Continue.
And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever.
He going to do what?
Reign over the house of Jacob forever. And of his kingdom there shall be no end.
Of no end.
Then said Mary unto the Malachim, how shall this be?
Reason why I'm looking at that is he not going to be a great and mighty nation? Now let's come back over here to Genesis 18 and 18 one more time. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. See, this is a thing that a lot of brews don't understand, how everybody blessed in him. See, give me Galatians 3 and 5, man. Galatians 3 and 5, man. For the few of you that here, man, go and hit that like button, man. Come on with it, man. Galatians 3 and 5.
It says, then he's supplying the ruach to you and working powerful works in you by workings of the law or by hearing of faith.
Did he supply you with the ruach hakodesh by works of the law or by faith? We already went through this once before. You know that everything given to Elohim was given up by faith. It wasn't no work of law nowhere on the scene. That's what that parable of the quote unquote prodigal son show you. Wasn't no law involved. Continue.
It says, even as Abraham believed Elohim, and it was counted to him for righteousness.
Paul, see, when we read about him believing in Elohim, was he Abram or was he Abraham? He was Abram. So that's showing you that he in the son of Adam stage that Yahushua was in. Because when Yahushua believed, he was the son of Adam. See, how do we know that? Give me John 12 and 44, Sid. John 12 and 44.
Yahushua cried and said, he that
you gotta
believe,
say a little louder, people can't hear.
John cried and said, Yahushua cried and said, he that believe on me, believe not on me, but on him that sent
If
me.
you believe on Yahushua, you believe on the Father. You don't believe on him.
And he that see me, see him that sent me.
See, that's the same way when the book say believe his prophets. You don't believe on his prophets, you believe on the one who sent the prophet. Go ahead.
I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believe on me should not abide, save the world.
But see, check this out. We're going to show you. Let me ask you a question. Can you point to something where Abram saved the world? Or Abram saved the world? Can you point that out? Can you point that out, Doris, where Abram saved the world? Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say what Solomon the world.
Can anybody point to where Abram saved the world? Because it's there.
I guess it would be.
And there it is. We're going to get to it in a minute. He did.
I mean, I said it.
He said he was thinking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, he saved it. We're going to read it. We done dealt with it before. It's been a long time. Continue, sir.
He that reject me and receive not my words have one that judge him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day.
Let's just go ahead and just do it now. Come over here to Genesis 14. Let's look at him saving the world. Because that would have said in Galatians. Now, didn't Yahushua say he didn't come to condemn the world, he came to save it? He didn't. Abraham didn't come through to do nothing to these people, but they pushed him to that point. I want you to come over here to Genesis chapter 14. I want you to come to verse 1. I'm already down to let it go because I know what I'm going to cut to and what I ain't going to cut to. It came to pass in the days of Amraphel, Malach of Shinar, Ariah, Malach of Elisar, Kedorlaomer, Malach of Elam, entitled King of Nations. Made war with Abram, Malach of Sodom, and with Rishah, Malach of Gomorrah, Shinab, Malach of Admah, Shember, Malach of Zebulun, and the Malach of Bia, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the Vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Kedorlaomer, in the 13th year they repelled. In the 14th year, Kedorlaomer and the kings that were with him and smote the Rephims and Ashtaroth, Carnium, Suzums and Ham, the Emims and Shavib and Kiramath, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, and El Paran, which is by the wilderness. They returned and came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwell in Hazon Tamar. Then went out the Malach of Sodom, and the Malach of Gomorrah, and the Malach of Admah, and the Malach of Zebulun, and the Malach of Bela, the same as Zoar, and they joined the battle with them in the Vale of Siddim. With Kedorlaomer, Malach of Elam, with the title Malach of Nations, and Amraphel, Malach of Shinar, Ariah, Malach of Elisar, 4 kings with 5. And the Vale of Siddim, slime pits, and the Malachs of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Now come back over here, man. Give me John 10 and 1, man. Notice it said they took everything. John 10 and 1. You got to, who else came to recover some things that were taken? We just talked about it last week. David did. Also talked about how he recovered his concubines or his wives. The same way you look at that is the same way you see him recovering his nephew But how does the text refer to Lot in Abraham's relationship? Refer to him as his son. Continue. John 10:1.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that enter not by the door into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber.
The same as what?
A thief and a robber.
That's what these men around here, they around here stealing.
But he that enter in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep.
Shepherd of
To
the
him
sheep.
the porter opened, and the sheep hear his voice, and he call his own sheep by name, and lead them out. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go before them.
Go ahead.
And the sheep follow him, for they know his voice.
Go ahead.
And the stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. This parable spake Yahushua to them, but they understood not what things they were.
But they didn't understand what he was talking about. Go ahead.
This is Yahushua to them, truly, truly, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture.
Go ahead.
The thief come not, but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy.
The thief don't do nothing but to come to do what?
Steal, kill, and destroy.
He come to take people captive.
I am come that they might have life, and that they might have more abundance.
Notice that they came and took people's goods, and then they came and took Lot and took him captive. You know what I'm talking about? So we have to understand something, right? That we know sin and the devil come to take people captive, and you need somebody to come who didn't come to what he said he didn't come to do. Say he didn't come to condemn the world. He came to do what? Save. So understand this here. He didn't come to condemn those kings of Sodom. All he did was come to deliver that which was his. In the process, we know that this is what's going to happen. Get him John 16:9. It was going to happen. See, this is what Abraham going to turn around and do. It was in John 16:9. Muffineer, you around here acting up, ain't you? Come on, man.
It said concerning sin because they do not believe on me.
Make it 8.
It says, and when that one comes, he will convict the world concerning sin.
He'll do what?
Convict the world concerning sin.
Go ahead.
And concerning righteousness and concerning judgment. Concerning sin because they do not believe on me. Concerning righteousness because I go to my Father and you see me no more. Concerning judgment because the ruler of this world is judged.
The rulers of this world is judged. Now this is when he talking about the Ruach country. Now see, you're going to turn around and you're going to see Abraham do this, and you're going to see an inkling of what Abram would do when he become Abraham. Because remember, he didn't come to condemn, he came to do what? Save. Let's see if Abram saves over here. Let's come over here to Genesis 14:13. And there came up one that escaped and told Abram, I can't see that page, Rip.
So Abram the Hebrew.
Okay. That for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite brother of Esau, brother of Aner, and these confederate with Abram. Give him confederate by definition. Abigail.
For all, owner, husband, Lord.
That's Bob Rip, bro.
They belong to Abraham. Abraham was their husband. That changed the thought process. Abram was their husband. In covenant. That was their Lord. That was their ruler. And when Abram heard his brother was taken what? Captive, he armed his train. Born in his own house, 318, and pursued unto Dan. Give him train by definition. See, Quran had already dropped that train, didn't it? Give him train by definition.
Initiated.
A what?
Initiated.
These are initiated men.
Trained, instructed.
They instruct. They what?
Experience.
Now let me show you how they train, how you would be trained and instructed and experienced. But guess what? This ain't talking about no regular man. Because guess what? It's going to take you back to when Paul say, I'm a slave of a Mashiach. If that's his Lord, right or wrong. Now let's sit back and look at how they would be initiated or trained or instructed. Come over here and get me Isaiah 8:14.
It said he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and a rock for offense to both houses of Yasharal, and for a gin and a snare for the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared
and be caught
and be taken. Bind up the testimony, seal the Torah among the disciples.
Do what?
Bind up the testimony, seal the Torah among my disciples.
Now give them disciples by definition.
Lamud, instructed, Taught, learned, disciple.
These are people who are learned and been instructed. Now get me Ephesians 4 and 17. We still holding Galatians 3, by the way.
It said, "This I say, therefore, and testify in the Master, that ye henceforth walk not as other nations walk in the vanity of their mind, having their understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart.
Go ahead.
Whom being past feeling have given themselves over to lasciviousness, to work all uncleanliness with greediness. But ye have not so learned the Mashiach. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him."
If you heard of him and been what?
Taught by him.
Taught by him.
As the truth is in Yahushua.
Hold on, that's good. Now let's swing back over there to John 12 and let's finish that. John 12 and what? 45?
49.
John 12 and 49.
For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting.
I know his what?
Commandment is life everlasting.
Go ahead.
Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak.
So he knows his life everlasting. And these are things that he taught unto men. And he told you that the Ruach will teach you in all things and bring all things to your remembrance. So that means those are his disciples, or those who've been taught in the word. So notice that the men who he trained, or the men that he taught, they were also what, in his own house? They were born in his own house. So these were men who were born of him. But I thought he had no children. See, you sitting back, you worry about the wrong thing. Get born in house by definition.
Yalid, that is born.
So you know your lad, that's born.
That's born, homeborn child or son.
Homeborn child. And of course, you know, house is body. So you got those who born in this house, have been instructed. Don't you got to be in the house a guy who tried to be instructed in any way? What does it point to? I mean, you can't go out there on the battlefield. Remember what he said and what it is, man, what it is? Ephesians 6, when he told you to take the whole armor. Well, guess what, man? Let me tell you something about warfare, man. You can't go to war unless you train to go to war. Nobody wake up one day and just a warrior. I know it sounds good, but you don't wake up one day and you're a warrior. You may have a warrior's heart, but that don't mean you know how to go to war. There's a lot of men have warriors' hearts and they in the grave because they didn't have the tactical skill to know how to go about fighting the battle. That's right. You can't be no novice. We talked about that the other day. You got to be a ready scribe. You got to be skilled with the text. Just like we talked about last night, you're not only going to give account for your life, you're going to give account for everything you said to everybody you talk. You're going to answer for it. You're going to answer for it. And that's the one thing that a lot of people don't weigh and consider when they talking about the word, where you're going to answer for every single solitary thing that come out your mouth. Don't you realize what his name is with Jeremiah? Benaiah answered for what he said out of his mouth, didn't it? What happened to him? He died. And you know why he said he had to kill him? What was the reason why who had told Jeremiah he had to die? Because you got people trusting in the lie and you saying it in my name. You got to die. Well, you know how many brews out here finna go to hell? Because you around here telling these lies and you teaching incorrectly and you got these people trusting in the lie. Well, you got to die because you're going to answer for everything that you taught and everything that you said. You're going to answer for it. It's too many doggone grown men out here be quick to open up this book talking about I'm going to teach the people. I'm glorifying the Most High. Don't even know, boy, Yahuwah said you are a failure, boy. He gave you that mind to teach them lies so you can go to hell. But I know what somebody gonna say. What creator would do that? The creator that old fool with sucker niggas, that's the one who do it. Because he done told you one time too many, he'll cause you to believe a lie. Matter of fact, give it to him, man. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, man, verse 7, man. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7, man.
For the mystery of iniquity do already work.
See, the mystery, we talked about this before. We might have to run it back.
Only he who now let.
I understand what that means, the mystery of iniquity. That means that's the secret of perversion. But see, we're not talking about perversion like you thinking about perversion. If it's the mystery of iniquity or the mystery of perversion, what is the perversion, Doris? What's being perverted? Were you a pervert? You're pervert? You don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna leave you alone. That's a nigga. We don't watch that nigga no more because he cried too much. That nigga used to get on there. He be clowning. It's not literal like I'm saying you a pervert. That's how he would speak to his audience. That was an inside joke with his audience. You're perverts? Because the niggas is perverts. But not that kind of pervert. Perverts like they like to have too much sex. Not perverts like I walk down the street touching myself type of pervert. I peek in windows type of pervert. You know what I'm saying? I watch porn and pleasure myself regularly type of pervert. No, you guys are like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they were talking about DJ Academics. They said if you take his money away, he'd be an incel because he embarrassed himself on Fresh and Fit the other day. I seen a nigga reacting to the video. That junk was hilarious because he embarrassed himself. He embarrassed himself great. Going back and forth arguing with a woman talking about she had a D-boy but she a man. Talking about that's why I got more money than your nigga. And I just, once you go to talking like that, you done already took an L as a man. Once you go to talk, oh no, not surprising at all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, I ain't mad at that. He said it in the wrong context when two women arguing about it. Because if you was a prize, you wouldn't even be participating with women who clearly you ain't a good prize. You the Cracker Jacks prize. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't take but $1.99 to buy you. And you really came for free with the Cracker Jack. You know what I'm talking about? Hey man, they got private dating chat girls for y'all out here, man. Said something about watching porn, and here come the box for the porn. Don't y'all click on that? Your computer gonna have viruses. Your phone gonna stop working.
At the service itself,
But yeah, that nigga embarrassed himself. That junk was funny because she was like, "Come on, bro," and he just got up and left. I'd have got up and left too. Yeah, he was there. You know what I'm saying? You know, he be on the, you know, he got his podcast and all that, man. You know what I'm talking about? You know, everybody do podcasting because there's money in it. And man, it was something one of them ladies said, which I already had to beat that game. That boy say, dang, I just hit it. But they were talking about people like Crimson Cure and Courtney Michelle and some other chick. And they was like, how these women be teaching all this femininity and they ain't got no man. I say, cause man, look here, man. We was in the car when they were talking about April Mason and old Stormy Wellington, man. Old dating coaches and business coaches. You know, Stormy Wellington, she run with Grant Cardone. But Stormy Wellington was giving out classes for 15 days. But see, this is regular in the entrepreneurial coach space. You know what I'm saying? Charging people 15 bands. That was what, because she sent me a skit with it, but I didn't know where the skit came from when dude talking about this was a low vibrational play. So it really wasn't funny to me because I didn't know where it came from. Like it was, okay, it's funny, but I didn't know it was a real life event. This woman telling a nigga, oh, you got a low vibrational plate because she had hot dogs and hamburgers. Oh, you got shrimp. You know what I'm talking about? But get what though? This whole saying, I'm a hood rat queen. She said, I'm a hood rat all the time. And I'm a queen, but that neither here nor there. But you know that though. But see, this is something too I would tell a trial, right? A lot of brews get upset when they see, like, you know, these business coaches, they be charging money. But you know, this these people time. You know what I'm saying? You just got to make sure you paying the right person. Because these niggas do be grifting. Because I told you before, then you got people who sell real estate courses who don't do no deals. You know what I'm talking about? I seen two dudes I knew, that dude was like, show your HUDs. Show your HUDs. White boy ain't want to show nothing. But he's selling course after course after course. Because one thing I done noticed, people who really be doing deals, they ain't got time to no course. You know what I'm talking about? Because that joint time consumed. But see, the courses is love. Because if I can get you in with the course for 2 bands, and this is passive income, you just buying them. I don't have to spend all the money that I got to spend on marketing and all this type of stuff to even flip a house. Wholesale, I ain't got to do that. It's easy money, man. Them needs to be making $80,000 to $100,000 a month off these courses, man. And then people turn back around. It's a scam because they're giving you information that you would have been better served finding a mentor in your market and paying him. But the research ain't doing you no good. Because it's research information that you could have got if you just would have went and found somebody in your market and sought to add value to them, and then it would have been a win-win for everybody around the board. versus shelling out five, because these courses, but they be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. But see, you just was better off just finding a nigga who were actually doing it and being of value to them, and you would have came out further and much cheaper because you could have took them 5 bands and put it into some market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
And then it ain't practical knowledge, like we said, they ain't doing it. So
yeah, they ain't even really doing deals like that.
yeah.
Not the big ones who doing. It's only a handful of them dudes who sell courses. I'm talking about in the real estate space that's really doing deals because it's more money in the course. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying from my personal experience. I ain't saying that's a. I got you in just 1 second. I'm just looking at it from what I done seen. Now I will say some of them, right? They in mastermind groups that they pay to be in, but it's beneficial for them because that's what I was telling Trav. Like, okay, you say that Grant Cardone event, man. They charge $20,000 for a certain amount of seats. Most bruised and people who don't make moves will look at it like that's a scam. Somebody who's doing business will look at, if I got to pay $20,000 to get in a room with X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, that's an opportunity for me to make $1 million. So I will pay the 20 bands to be in a room with certain people that can further what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at it like that. That's an investment in me. I'll drop 20 bands to be in a room with people I normally wouldn't be in a room with. You know what I'm saying? But that's because most people are not accustomed to being, if you want to get around people with money, you're going to have to spend some money or you're going to have some money. That's the only way you're going to be around them because them people their time is valuable. See, most black folks, like I told you last night, most black folks don't respect elders. They don't respect authority and they don't respect people's time. You feel like people's time should be free because they got something you want and you feel like you should give it to me for free. That my time don't mean nothing to you because you want something. Very entitled way of thinking. You know what I'm talking about? It's very, very detrimental. But then they had a chick, April Mason. She rented out a suite at the Falcons game, charged $10,000 a head. She's the only reason why it's important. Because, see, she's trying to teach you how to get a rich man. But you know what's funny? She ain't got no rich man. She ain't got no man. And then as she was talking, I think it was lead attorney. She took her glasses off. She said, you want to say how to get paid? You want to took her glasses off, look dead in the camera. She said, yeah, man, get a dating coach and sell women fluff. You get rich. No smile on her face, no joke in her tone. Took her glasses off. She didn't even have shades on. She had regular glasses on. Took them off, looked dead in the camera, straight eyed, like, hey, man, you want to get paid? Lie to these hoes. Basically is what she said. She said, become a dating coach and lie to women and you'll make money hand over fist. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've been telling y'all that for a long time. People lie to y'all. Y'all soak it up. Soak it up. Nigga, Derrick Jackson is a millionaire for lying to hoes. You know what I'm saying? That man, a millionaire. Now you got a new nigga who be on that podcast with that brown skin hoe that be yelling. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know them people's names. You know what I'm saying? They just always just pop up. Look at Michael knowing. You know him. I know I seen his son yesterday talking about stay away from the man to say, be my peace. Look at this here, man. Get this whole nigga out of here with this nonsense. He gonna set you up to be an old minstrel, old spinster. You be at home watching Long Meat Willie playing with yourself. That's what's gonna happen. No turn, no nothing. They be lying to these women talking about they be rich. They don't even be rich. Man, you know, they just came out and say, man, you're going to need a minimum of $500,000 to retire, which means you're probably going to need $2 or $3 million. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm just going to be honest with you. Most people, everybody in here should mentally be prepared that you're probably going to be working to your 60s. Because the prices of goods and services ain't going down. You know what I'm talking about? You just might as well go ahead and be mentally prepared for that. Most people not going to have $2 to $3 million talking about for me to live on for 20 years. Because if it's $2 to $3 million now, 20, 30 years from now, it's probably going to be 5 to 10. Because they said $500,000. I don't believe that. If it's $500,000, if the government saying it's $500,000, it's probably 2 to 4 times that you're going to actually need. Because we know they lie.
What you turn off $500,000?
Yeah, that's what they telling people. You're going to need $500,000. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of bread. But no, I mentioned that because it's just funny that how people love, see, I'm talking about Western culture. People in America love to be lied to. And you'll pay somebody to lie to you. and you know they lying to you, and you know you're not getting the benefits of the lie that you paying for, but you just love the fact of being lied to. And that's a part of your mindset and your attachment to the devil. Because we know what John 8:44 say. Go and read it for him, Sid. I'm going to get this here with Brother Renner talking about with Abraham's services. They got anything to do with Exodus 21 and Deuteronomy 15. We're going to look at that in a minute.
You are of your father the devil.
You of your what?
Your father the devil.
You of your what?
Father the devil.
What else?
And the lust of your father you will do.
You will do.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a what?
A murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him.
Ain't no faithfulness in it.
When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar.
He speak of his own.
And the father of it.
Come on now, give him Proverbs 17, right? Proverbs 17:4. I'm gonna tell you what another thing it show when you believe in lies. What that show? Proverbs 17:4. Listen what he say.
A wicked doer.
Hold on. A wicked what?
Wicked doer.
A wicked what?
Wicked doer.
Give him do it by definition before we go any further.
Ra'ah, bad, to be bad, be evil, displeasing.
So wicked and doer was one word.
Mm-hmm.
So he that is displeasing, he that is evil, he that is wrong. Start it again from the top.
A wicked doer give heed to false lips.
It give heed to what?
False lips.
Give heed to what?
False lips.
And what else they do?
A liar give ear to a naughty tongue.
A liar give ear to a what type of tongue?
Naughty tongue.
Now give them naughty by definition. So that's the thing, right? How you know a lot of people are the devil. Because if you evil, you're going to give heed to lies. You're going to listen to them.
Have all that is desire.
You got
a bad sense.
In the bad sense. So when you got a naughty tongue, you speak of naughty desires. So a liar loves bad desires. Now, see, I mentioned that because of that 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 that we started on before I stopped what I was talking about. So let's go ahead to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7.
For the mystery of iniquity do already work.
Now, again, we talking about the mystery of iniquity. So the question, to answer that question I asked you, Michael, when you talking about what's being perverted, the word is being perverted. You understand that?
Only he who now let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the ruach of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, whose coming is after the working of Hashatan with all power and signs.
And now he said his coming is after who?
Working of Satan.
And it said, and what did the book say? Who would follow after? Who followed after these, according to the book?
Wicked doers.
Oh, what? That ain't what it say. That's factual. That ain't what it say. You know what it say?
I don't know how to comment, but
they don't believe in Hamashiach. But who did it say would wander after the beast? Everybody whose name is not written in the book of life. Meaning, these people love lies and they have naughty desires. Oh, you all right? You paying attention? You my baby. You ain't my baby. You my baby. You my big old baby. Why you ain't a little baby anymore? Huh? Oh, because your birthday passed by? Can you go back to being a little baby? Do you want to be a little baby? Well, you do? Why? You want to see a video you can use a little baby? I'll show it to you later. Remember, remind me when I finish. Y'all see how that works? It says a wicked doer, an evil individual gives heed to lies. So when he tell you that the secret of perversion is already going on, you're dealing with people who are who's the first person who perverted the word of Allah? The serpent. The serpent. Eve didn't pervert the word. She spoke back the word. But he perverted it. How did he pervert it? Because he told her, you will not die. He perverted the word. That's when the mystery of iniquity became. And we could go straight throughout the text and look at, we've done it before, but we could do it again. You know what I'm talking about? We could go straight throughout the text of individuals who perverted the word. And the perversion of the word was to hide that great perversion that would be revealed at the revealing of Satan through the man of sin. Because the man of sin is going to have what? Understanding of dark sentences. He is going to teach the people to enter into a covenant with him who forsake the covenant of Yahuwah, which means they're forsaking the covenant of Abraham. Shalom, man. Oh, shoot, it's all good, man. Shoot, your birthday was just around here, man. You know what I'm saying? That boy done finally hit that 50. And Pop Duke's done slid through. I understand, man. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, because each just turned 50th birthday this week, man. So you know what that means? That means Jubilee got to be dropping immediately. Immediately. That's what that's telling me. I need a copy of it immediately because now he done hit 50. It's official now. It's officially the year of Jubilee, according to the record. You know what I'm talking about? But yes, up, man. Praise you. I'm glad he's still here and Pop slid on through. You know what I'm talking about? Especially what you say, Pop we're dealing with, man. You know what I'm talking about? It'll come through the house. That means he feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Now watch out now. Don't click on them doggone sites. You're gonna have doggone virus on there. They steady coming. And that's a year with the land rest. Now see what you're talking about is the release from debt. And that's every 7 years. That's where that comes from with bankruptcy. You know what I'm talking about in America. That's where they get that from. Because matter of fact, it's funny that the bankruptcy that allows you not to pay your debts in America is Chapter 7. You know what I'm saying? I was just telling Darius that the other day because you got two types of. It's in my mind. I was talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump filed bankruptcy 6 times because he filed Chapter 13, and they were talking about, well, how can he be rich and he filed bankruptcy because it wasn't personal bankruptcy, it was business bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? It said something about, I think one of the Trump towers, they missed like a $53 million payment. You know what I'm saying? He filed bankruptcy. You know what I'm talking about? Slid out the way. And then, of course, it came up with 50. See, that was corporate reorganization. So that don't wipe out your bills. It gives you they sit down and they put together a plan for you to pay back the debt. You know what I'm talking about? And they say that's what 50 did. He lost that lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people look at it, they broke. But that's just because, again, see, now this is the thing. It shows. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. He did it because it was under the entity of business. So then you can't touch me personally. But I'm saying is that the vast majority of the American public, they don't understand those things. Because people are stupid over here. That's what I meant before by people over here are dumb. And when I say dumb, I mean you spend time talking about things of no consequence. You talk about nothing. You desire nothing. You don't know nothing. So then that comes up when you see people do certain things. You don't understand it. Since you don't understand it, you're going to talk against it. You know what I'm talking about? And then or call people this and call people that because you didn't take the time to learn how to use something to your benefit. Just like, okay, it's a dude I know in real estate, right? That man say, hey, he was talking about Dave Ramsey. A dude say he an idiot. He said, I ain't going to throw Dave Ramsey an idiot. Because Dave Ramsey don't believe in you taking on your debt. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, hey, man, it really come down to you could take elements what he had, because he said, I follow everything Dave Ramsey do to a T. He said, there is a thing is good debt. He said, some people just not disciplined enough to pay that debt back immediately. As far as what you taking back the leverage to make you some money. You know what I'm talking about? Because he said he went from being in debt and being in a certain position to being a millionaire and then buying BMWs and brand new pickup trucks, cash, and owing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just like shoot, doggone, I told you the other day, man, Open said nigga hit him off with 10 mil. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't no private money, somebody he knew. He didn't know the dude had 10 million liquid like that. He said, man, I got $10 million, man. Go buy some houses, man, so I can get me some money. You know what I'm saying? Average person, if you're not doing certain stuff, usually that don't come from being in masterminds and doing business with people who got that type of bread. But a nigga won't understand that because he's not going to want to spend the $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in these people company. Because you're going to look at them and say they rich and they evil. Man, I know a lot of millionaires, man, and I'm telling you, you wouldn't know there was one when you seen them. A lot of them don't even live like one. A lot of them don't even have houses that you would expect a millionaire to have. A lot of them don't have no jewelry. A lot of them ain't pretentious. A lot of them ain't proud. A lot of them ain't arrogant. A lot of them get money, go home, take care of their turn. Some of them don't like their wife. Some of them love their wife. You know what I'm talking about? Regular people just like you is. Some of them, if they got the word, they might walk in it. Some of them wouldn't. But guess what? It's a whole bunch of poor niggas got the word of evil as hell. You know what I'm talking about? And evil as the day is long. So the money's not the factor, it's the individual. But in my personal opinion, to act a particular way that you've been shown in a movie, because you ain't never been around nobody with no money. You know what I'm talking about? Most people ain't never been in a room with multimillionaires. Because when you be in the room with them, shoot, I just showed you that dude the other day, that bad body built dude. That dude, a multi-million, this man built so wrong. He got too much money to be looking like that. But get what he like to do? Sit out in the woods and do nothing. You know what I'm talking about? And he could go do a whole bunch of stuff. Sit out in the woods and do absolutely nothing. That's what he like to do. You know what I'm saying? You got people who millionaires, man, and all they want to do is just get up and take their children to school. That's what he's looking at. I can get up and take my children to school in the morning, and I ain't got to be pressed that I got to be over here and do this. But a lot of people don't understand that. Quran said he had a friend that built a plant hire firm from bank loans to buy plants and let the plant pay its own loan with a bit on top from the hire fee. And when they paid their finance, it was all profit. Now he say he just delivers and maintains equipment and he loaded that. But see, most people think that most people really just project onto other people what they got in their own brain, what they would do if they get some money. You know what I'm talking about? Because a lot of people, when they get some money, they don't want money for the sake of having money. They want money to live comfortable and have the freedom to live how they want to live. And when I say live how they want to live, to not necessarily have to exchange their time for money. You know what I'm saying? To where I can sit, because that's what, dude, that nigga Anton broke this down the other day. That joke was dead serious, man. That nigga broke down like it's how many hours in a year and how much time he was talking about taking a woman on a $200 to $300 date, and that was equivalent to a man giving you 500 hours of his time if he made $100,000 a year. That's what you would get. When he spent that $300 on you, that equated to X amount of hours of his life. And as Amen, as Mother Sharona put it, the real wealth is the ability to recline. That's what a lot of people want money for, so I don't have to do what we were just talking about, that I ain't got to work till I'm 75. Y'all be seeing some of these people out here. Some of these older people out here working because they just can't sit at the house and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But some of these older people working because they have no choice. If they don't work, they ain't gonna have nowhere to live. But like I said, I'm referencing that not because I give a damn about money, because we know it's worthless. It's fiat currency. But it's the fact of what people think people want money for. Most people who want a lot of money usually been poor. Then most people who want to attain some level of wealth, they've been around people who have wealth and they see how they live. And like I say, if you've been around people who really got wealth and not this Kardashian stuff and this rapper stuff you see on TV, they don't live like how you think they live. Not athletes. We ain't talking about that. We talking about people who actually went out here and put in some work to accrue what they got. They don't live how you think they live. Because I can think of five of them I know right now. Them boys like to go hunt in exotic locations where it's cold. These niggas went and hunted in Alaska. Who wants to go to Alaska and hunt? That's not something you think some rich person gonna do. Be riding around on an ice boat. You know what I'm talking about? You look like the type of nigga like. I'm not going nowhere cold. Kill animals. I don't care about the killing animals part. It's cold. I'm not spending money to be cold. I'm gonna spend money. I'm gonna spend some money to go to somewhere where it's warm. What they say that the Europeans have that madness. It was the tropical people. Yeah, I ain't going. I ain't paying no one to go nowhere cold. You know what I'm saying? Not for vacation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying I've been around and be knowing like this here. Shoot, y'all know something. You know something. Them people don't be flashing. They don't even drive in the type of cars. We in the South, so it's different. Them boys be in pickup trucks. You know what I'm talking about? If he wanted a Benz or any stuff like that, he could do it. Now that's different. Quran talking about, yeah, you need to go on a ski holiday. No, I ain't going on no ski holiday because I ain't gonna come back. You know, that's what they say over there. They don't say vacation. In Europe, they go on holiday. Now, ain't nothing wrong with skiing, but I want to live. I know I ain't got to go. You ain't told me that I ain't go. You know what I'm talking about? They want me to get on the ski lift and come down there right in the tree. Collect the insurance policy. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah, she trying to set me up. She trying to set me up. Nah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's definitely a few places over here you can go get some good skiing in. I just don't like the cold. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's better thing. What I got you over, Sip? I think you finished in Proverbs 17.
Going to Thessalonians.
Yeah, we need 2 Thessalonians. Hey, look at me. You a baby. You my baby. You ain't my baby. You are my little baby. I remember when you was little Abby. Now you big Abby. You want to go back to being little Abby?
To where you was sitting.
Why not?
Yeah, you was at.
That's right. And Mother Sharona said Solomon had it all in the end of his life. And like he concluded, it was all vanity. And at the end, King David's life, he just wanted to be warned. Because at the end of the day, that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't lying now. When King David was in that bed, all he wanted was to keep him warm. Solomon had all that wealth. He realized junk for nothing. He said, you can have all that junk and you don't know if you're going to leave it to a wise man or to a fool. It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you just want the ability to live life on your terms and not on somebody else's if the Lord allows. You know what I'm saying? Because me and Sylvia were talking about that yesterday. So the most part, I would say 99% of people who own a business, they don't own a business, they own a job. You know what I'm talking about? And you know how you know you own a job? Because your business don't have systems in place where you don't have to be there. And when I say you don't have to be there, meaning that if you didn't come in, that it could still function at the same level. You know what I'm talking about? And most people in America, that's not the case. Most of us all own jobs. We don't own a business because businesses run on their own. You know what I'm talking about? Now, that's not to say if you show up every day that you don't have a business. You know what I'm talking about? You might show up every day because guess what? Amen, Mother Sharona. Godliness with contentment is great gain. That's what the words say. But guess what? You got some people who got money and Warren Buffett show up every day. He definitely ain't got to show up. He ain't got to show up. He show up because that's what he like to do. I just seen the Rams owner got to pay $571 million. You know what he got to pay it for? Because he moved the team out of town. They said the original judgment was $790 million. But you know what was funny? They say his net worth is $12.5 billion. They told me there ain't no money to him. That's a lie. I guarantee you that man sitting at the house like this here, lying to me, $571 million ain't a lot of money. You know what I'm talking about? You think because I got $12 billion, I want to give somebody $500 million?
That's $500 million right now.
Yeah, he had to pay the city of St. Louis. The city of St. Louis sued him. He had to pay $571 million. The original price tag was $790 million. Shoot, that's what they hit Alex Jones with, $965 million. Come on, Sid.
That was a verse 10.
2 Thessalonians 2:10. I got you.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish.
And all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that die.
Because they receive not the love of the truth.
Because they don't have the love of the faithfulness of
that they might be saved.
That they might be delivered.
And for this cause, Elohim shall send them a strong delusion.
He'll send them what?
Strong
what?
A lie.
That she should believe what?
A lie.
Go ahead.
That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
Yeah, what? You ought to be damned because you don't believe the word and you take pleasure in doing what's wrong. You ought to be damned.
But we are bound to give thanks always.
Go ahead, finish it out.
To Elohim for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because Elohim have from the beginning chosen you to salvation
through sanctification
of the Ruach
and belief
of the truth.
See, some people have been set apart from the jump street to believe the word, and some people haven't. And guess what? That's Yahuwah prerogative. Take it up with him. Now let's take a look at what Reynolds had. Take a look at what he had. Get me Exodus 21, verse 4. He wanted verse 4 and 5.
If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and
Okay,
he shall
that's
go
good.
out by himself.
That's something different. That's dealing with the bearing the hole in your ear. You know what I'm talking about? If you decide to stay with your master instead of slide. So that's a little different than the trained servants that it's forth with the bearing hole of the ear. It's the same concept of somebody being in their master's house, but the bearing hole of the ear, that's a little different thing. But the concept of being in your master's house, that is the same. I'm in Genesis 14 to 15. He said he divided himself against them, and he and his servants by night, and smote them and pursued them to Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus, and he brought back all the goods. And he also brought again his brother Lot. Notice this time he went and called him his what?
Brother.
And his goods, and the women also, and the people. Because he didn't come to condemn, he came to save. He came to save everybody. Notice he just didn't save Lot, he saved everybody. Which at that point would be considered to be the world. Because it talked about, we read where it said he took all those people. So you can see Abram in this instance coming through to do what the son of Elohim would do, which the son of Adam was telling them that the son of Elohim would do, which is to save the world. See, a lot of people don't sit back and look at that, you know what I'm talking about? Of saving the world. So that's when people go in, he only made a covenant with Israel. See, that's where somebody need to slap you in your face. You know why you need to be slapped in your face? Because you forgetting about Adam, you dummy. You so worried about Israel, you don't die because of a covenant with Israel, fool. You die because of Adam. That's how all the nations in the earth are blessed. Guess that's all they be focused on. Ain't nobody think about Adam. Ain't nobody think about the fact because in Adam we all die. Ain't that what the book say?
It's like a
1 Corinthians 15 and 20. Get off my phone. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You're being nosy. You're being investigated. You're being a voyeur. Watch. You. You a voyeur.
What does that mean?
Go ask your dad. First Corinthians 15 and 20.
But now is the Mashiach risen from the dead, become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man death, by man also the resurrection of the dead.
Since by man came what?
Death.
Since by man came what?
Death.
And by man?
The resurrection of the dead.
Oh, Lala.
For as in Adam, all died.
As in who?
Adam, all died.
As in who?
Adam. Even so in the Mashiach.
So as in Israel.
Adam.
As in Moses' law.
Adam.
So that means everybody need a redemption from that. That won't even make no sense, man. Did he tell you? Ask mom, she'll tell you. Let's look at the law of sin and death. Come over here to Romans 8 and 1. Y'all know what it is, but my brother posted that. He said Paul mentions other instructions rather just the law of Elohim or Torah. See, this is the thing, right? People don't understand what is law. That's instruction. That's in commandment. So let's pick this up at Romans 8 and 1. Listen to what it's saying. Romans 8 and 1. Let it run.
Therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua HaMashiach.
There's no what?
Condemnation.
Why is there no condemnation?
Who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach.
That's why. But why is this the case? Because again, it goes back to what happened in the garden. There was no condemnation to Adam as long as he didn't take part of that fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. As soon as he took part of that, he died. He was condemned because that tree was the law. As soon as he did it, he was condemned. Hold on. Quran said the best thing about it is how do they know that they're without a doubt bloodline Yasharal? I believe that originally Yasharal was a race of black-skinned people, but that doesn't mean all. I'm not even worried about that. You know why I ain't worried about that? Because John 1 and 12, 1 John 3 and 1. What manner of love has the Father bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of Elohim? And what Paul wrote in Romans 9, just because you a Yasharal don't mean you a Yasharal, because in Isaac shall your seed be called. You're going to have to be born of the word. You're going to have to be born of incorruptible seed. You're going to have to become of the nation Elohim, if you would. Yes, you'll have your flesh and blood be connected to Yasharal, but you're going to have to be of the family of heaven. You're not getting in. Because, see, this is what I was concerned with, at least with me. When I first heard the word, I wasn't concerned with, oh, we Israel. I'm like, boy, I don't want to die. I ain't talking about the aspect I know I'm going to go in the grave. I don't want to die. And me and the Israelite ain't going to stop that. Somebody had to come reverse the work of Adam. See, I never got stuck on what Israelites are stuck on. They stuck on the covenant in Sinai. I'm looking at what happened in the beginning. Because before a covenant with Sinai, they were already dying, boy. There go your daddy. Ask. Your son's a voyeur. He wants to know what a voyeur is.
I don't even know what voyeur is.
He couldn't even help you.
Somebody will search.
You a peeker, a watcher, a looky-loo. That's what you is. Now, in the general sense, a voyeur is somebody who like to look in on people doing adult business.
That's what I see. That's a burger. Different time. It's an adventure.
A looker. Peeker.
Adventure, what is he doing? He's looking.
You looking.
No, that's that nigga was looking for booty.
Not looking for booty.
No, that was that looking for sexual activity. That's what it's.
Yeah, so that's the people like this.
Well, that's what I'm going off. I don't know.
Well, you know, the voyeur is the little boy that like to crack the door open, look at it, and then try to see what they're doing in the room.
Oh yeah, that's a people Tom.
Yeah, that's people talk.
Who gain sexual pleasure from watching others engage in sexual activity. So you're not a voyeur. That's not you.
No, I gave him a lot of adjectives because he was in the phone peeking.
You remember that?
So yeah, I was
You phone for that.
He wasn't looking for that, but I gave him all of it. You a boy, you a peeper. I did say people, Tom.
no, you say people.
No, I said you a peeper. You a looker.
I use my
Be a nosy.
I ain't say you picking them.
Well, no, they're not somebody who they're not necessarily looking for the people as somebody's private part, but you're looking to see the action go down.
I would say you get off by catching somebody.
Catching the action. You know, you're a weirdo.
Yeah. I spelled it wrong. This is the lesson French, you know.
Man, said, what's up, Jeremiah James Bird?
When I heard that,
No, I knew that was the definition, but I would call it the people.
That was new to me though. You laid one on me.
Oh yeah, I didn't know y'all knew about that.
I did.
You got some people they video voyeurs.
Watch porn.
Watch porn. Saying video voyeur. Virtual voyeur. Nasty boy. Come on now, give me verse 2.
For the law of the Ruach of life and Yahushua Mashiach have made me free from the law of sin and death.
That's right.
For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Elohim sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin
So,
in
but
the
it's
flesh.
what people don't understand. Where is the law in sin and death? It's in the law, because he said, when you eat from this tree, you will what? So that's the law of sin and death. See, he thinking Paul coming up with something different. It's in the text. Let's look at the other one that the brother mentioned. And that's not the Catholic gave him. You know, we don't got to go to the law of Elohim. Give me Romans 7:23. He got law of sin. Let's see what he used for that. We just now see the law of Ruach of life is we didn't just discuss this not too long ago, so we got to go in depth. We know all the things that are the spirit, against such there is no what? And where there is no law, there is no sin. And where there is no sin, there is no.
Yeah.
So guess what? There it is. There go your law of Ruach of life.
Bust down.
To Romans 7:23.
Yeah, that's what he had.
But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death?
What verse that is?
That's 20, that was 23.
Go ahead.
And 24. I'm at
He
25.
stopped 25 where he stopped at.
Yep, that's the last verse. I thank Elohim through Yahushua HaMashiach our master. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of Elohim, but with the flesh, the law of sin.
Well, what is the law of sin? Well, we just mentioned it. The law of sin and death and the law of sin are the same thing. When you sin, what the law say you gotta happen? You die. Very, very, very simple thing. It's in the law. Everything we looking at is in the law. Even the law of the Ruach of life is in the law. So wherever this man Ruach is, guess what's present? Now he got the law of faith. Let's go to Romans 3 and 27. Romans 3 and 27.
Where boasting then? It is excluded by what law? Of works? Nay, but the law of faith. Therefore we
Where's the law of faith at in the law? That's right, Karan. Where's the law of faith at in the law? You got 2 places you could go to, maybe even 3, possibly 4. No, I ain't gonna say that one there. Hold on, read it out loud. He say the law of faith. So not in that one there because it's in the law and it's mentioned in that. But your first place where the law of faith at is Deuteronomy 30. When he say that it's not far from you, but it's near you, even in your heart, that you shall do it. The second one is Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Yahshua, Yahuwah your Elohim is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, all your strength, and all your soul. That's the law of faith right there in the law. And then Quran added the tree of life, and you could deal with that, but faith will shut up until time was revealed. But it's really Deuteronomy 30 and 6. You know what I'm talking about? That's the law of faith in the law. That's believing the word. You know what I'm talking about? So then you got the other one. What's the other one the brother got over here, man? Law of righteousness. Let's go to Romans 9 and 31. Now, I'm not casting, and Quran mentioned Deuteronomy 8. I'm trying to show you where he asked and where he mentioned these things at, and not that Paul made these things up, but that there's basis of these things in the law of where he's deriving this from. Romans 9 and 31.
But Yahshua, which follow after the Torah of righteousness, have not attained to the Torah of righteousness. Because not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law.
Paul, so that takes us right back to the Deuteronomy 30 and the Deuteronomy 6, because you were seeking it not according to your faith, because the righteousness of Elohim is faith, because that's what they live by. And the last one is the law of Hamashiach, 1 Corinthians 9 and 21. 1 Corinthians 9 and 21.
It says, to them who are without the law, as without the law, being not without the law to Elohim, but under the law to the Mashiach, that I might gain them that are without the law. So the weak became.
Well, I don't even see how he got that, but you can see certain spots when they're talking about the law of Hamashiach. Y'all know what the law of Hamashiach is, right? That's it.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Yeah, that's it. And that you should bear one another's burden. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're seeing with Abraham doing. That's what you're seeing with instance what we were talking about with David. That's bearing one another's burden. That's the love of Mashiach, and that can be found in the law. And all I did that for is for you to know that these things that look like these are separate and different laws are found in the law. Let's come back to Genesis 18, because I need to wrap that up before we go out of here. I got it. I'll deal with it. I'm in Genesis 18 and 8. I'm in Genesis 18 and 18. Now remember, we're taking Genesis 18 and 18 and we're tying it to Isaiah 9. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth in him shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children in his household after him, that they shall keep the way of Yahuwah, to do justice and judgment, that I may bring upon Abraham that which I have spoken of him. All right, Sibit, give me justice and judgment and way. Way should be derived. And we should be seeing Mishpat and Zadok one more time. But let's see. Yes, Abigail. Nah, I got your fingers.
No, the Joshua. It's Joshua. Yeah, the dog. And then it's.
Now, remember, it was Zadok and Mishpat and Isaiah 9, was it not? Talking about that he would establish his kingdom with justice and judgment. But notice he said, I know he will command his children in his household after him, that they're going to keep the way of Kadash, and they're going to be righteous, and they're going to work judgment. So I need you to get me Hebrews 3 and 1. So remember, when he's saying this is again pointing to the son of Elohim. Because when he's called Abraham, he would be in the aspect of how Yahusha was as the son of Elohim. And then we do have to talk about things with circumcision, because I read too many things with circumcision to walk out of here and not do that. Abigail, you cannot climb up here. It is not enough room for space. Hebrews 3 and 1.
Wherefore, Kadah's brother and partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our profession, Yahushua Mashiach, who was faithful to him that appointed him, as also Moses, all in his house.
All in his what?
All in his house.
Okay.
For this was counted worthy of more esteem than Moses, as he who had builded the house had more honor than the house. For every house is built by some, but he that build all things is Elohim. And Moses verily faithful in all his house as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken after.
That's right.
But the Mashiach verily faithful in all his house as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken after.
That's right.
But the Mashiach as a son over his own house.
Over his what?
His own house.
It's not Abraham over his own house. Now let me ask you this here, right? Did not Mashiach keep the way of Yahuwah? Did he not teach his sons? Because we just read that Isaiah 8, right? Bind up the testimony and seal the law amongst my disciples. Did he not resurrect from the dead and teach them? Will he not send the Ruach HaKadosh and it will bring to you all remembrance all things that he has taught unto you? So he's going to teach his house what? Righteousness. We just talked about the law of righteousness, which is faith. Deuteronomy 30, Deuteronomy 6. And then he's going to teach you judgment. Well, what is judgment? That which is right and which is wrong. We know Galatians 2 tell us that we will not be justified by the law, but justified by faith, because they say, while we seek to be made righteous by faith, should we commit sin? He said, no, Elohim forbid, because Mashiach is not the minister or the servant or the instructor of offense. So when you turn around and you see that, you're going to see the parallel. But notice the parallel is for those who have been circumcised. Let's back this up. Because he said he know he going to teach his household after him. So come back over here to Genesis 17. I want you to look at, I'm going to read verse 7 one more time. He said, I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you and your generations for an everlasting covenant to be an Elohim unto you and to your seed after you. And I will give unto you and to your seed after you the land wherein you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan for everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim. Let me ask you this question. Was Yahusha a stranger in a land that he was meant to possess? Just like who? Isaac and Jacob. Just the fulfilling of the law. And Elohim said unto Abraham, you shall keep my covenant, therefore you and your seed after you and their generations. This my covenant which you shall keep shall be between me, you and your seed after you. Every man among you shall be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. It shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child of your generations. He that is born in your house, bought with money, or any stranger which is not of your seed. He that is born in your house and he that is bought with your money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised man child whose flesh and of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He have broken my covenant. I want you to do me a favor, Civic. I need you to give me foreskin.
Or law, foreskin, or uncircumcised.
Or uncircumcised. And what Hebrew characters do you have for Orlah? Can you read them? Or do you need some assistance?
Lamont in there.
You got IE, you got Rosh, you got Lamar, and you got Hay. So talk to me now. If you got IE, have you experienced? Or do you see? Well, what have you experienced? You have experienced and beheld the instructions of your shepherd. Now, why is that important with this circumcision? Give me Jeremiah 4:1.
It says, if thou wilt return, O Yasharal says, Yahuwah return unto me, and if thou wilt put away thine abominations out of thy sight.
If you do what?
If you will put out thine abominations out of thy sight.
What else?
then thou shalt not remove.
Come on.
And thou shalt swear, Yahuwah liveth in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness, and the nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him shall they esteem.
Say the nations go. You see how that go back to what we read about Abraham and you shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Now look at that. Listen to him. Listen what he's going to tell you now.
For thus says Yahuwah to the men of Judah and Jerusalem,
what they need to do?
Break up your fallow ground.
And do what?
And sow not among the thorns.
And do what else?
Circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah.
Do what?
Circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah.
And what else?
Take away the foreskin of your heart.
Oh man, take away the what?
The foreskins.
Not the what? Not the foreskin. I didn't know your heart had a foreskin. Guess what he said? You need to behold and experience the instructions of the shepherd. See, hold on. I think it's Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel 11 and 20. Give me Ezekiel 11 and 20. Tell me what it says.
It says that they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinance and to do them.
Back it up to 17.
It says, therefore, say, thus says Yahuwah Elohim, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of all the countries where ye have been scattered. And I will give you the land of Yasharal.
Come on.
And they shall come there, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof and all the abominations thereof from thence.
Go ahead.
And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit in them.
Go ahead.
And I will take the stony heart from their flesh.
And give them what?
And I will give them a heart of flesh.
Give them a heart of what?
Flesh.
Not a heart of flesh. How can you? Come on now. What he just said you need to take out your heart.
Take out the stony heart.
Oh, but what he just said in Jeremiah 4, you need to take. And then what he just said that everybody who is circumcised, they're going to have to be circumcised where?
Their heart.
In the flesh. That's what it said in Genesis 17. So guess what? We ain't talking about no wee-wee.
Wee-wee.
You're going to have to take that foreskin off your heart. You're going to have to behold and experience the instructions of the shepherd. That's the only way the foreskin is going to be removed. If not, you ain't circumcised. And if you ain't circumcised, then you done broke this man's covenant. Uh-oh. The Brew don't want to hear that one. Look like somebody going to hell. Hope it ain't you. Come over here to Ezekiel 43. He said, every stranger that's not of your seed. You see how he slid that in there? We ain't finished this Galatians 3. Finish that for me. You can pick it back up in verse 5. We finna get off of here. But I gotta I got to lead off with that. Or we're gonna be incomplete. Like Cisco. Ain't that your favorite singer? You look like you was like, let me say, don't disrespect me. Let me say something disrespect you. Right? Around here talking about no tongues. I think it was the gayest nigga in the history of game. You know what I'm talking about? He did, but he wanted to be in. Allegedly. So he said his milkshake brought all the boys to the yard.
The host get that free to naked
Come on, man. Galatians 3 and 5. Don't mind me.
He that ministers to you, the Ruach, and work of miracles among you, do it by the work of the law or by the hearing of faith.
All right.
Even as Abraham believed Elohim, and it was accounted to him for righteousness.
All right.
Know ye therefore that they that are of faith are the same as the children of Abraham.
Amen, Brother Reynolds.
And the scripture foreseeing that Elohim would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospels unto Abraham, saying,
what he said?
In thee all nations shall be blessed.
That's right.
For as many as were under the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
To do it.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of Elohim.
What verse is it?
I'm in 11.
Come on.
It's evident, for the just shall live by faith.
Come on.
And the law is not of faith, but the man that do them shall live by them, or live in them. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us.
Because cursed?
For it is written, cursed everyone that hangeth on the trees, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahushua HaMashiach, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith.
See, there it is.
You don't really see that rock. What?
That nigga Sean talking about he can't cap incomplete, had him singing about pain he never experienced at that time. That boy in the house singing. I don't even remember how that go.
I don't even know it.
Little Johnny know it.
Yeah.
You used to be in the house singing that. Well, you used to like that. Oh, I know you. You was in the car.
I think they'll know that.
I know a song you like. You like 5 steps.
6.
They did.
6.
That was such a six.
I ain't gonna lie. Them boys what did sing very well. That's what they were. But one sister. Any nigga who dyed his hair blonde and dress how he dressed, that nigga homosexual.
You blind. It's silver.
Nah, that boy started with blonde.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, you don't know. Oh, that
I
album.
don't know
What
it like
is it?
that.
Shoot, I do because shoot, them niggas on. Yeah, I'm talking about when they. Now I'm talking about, you know, them boy first came out, they still be doing that dance when they first came out. You know the dance? I know you know the dance. You know the Drew dance? The first music video they ever had, they did all that jumping and stuff. I don't remember something.
That's what I remember.
He said he had that on cassette. That boy took that with him. That boy was walking to school talking about he incomplete. The teacher said the only thing incomplete is your work, son. Now, I can't remember that song though. But yeah, they had some. Oh, tell me. That's what it was. Tell me what you want. Them niggas in that.
That boy going down every day.
No, that big old. I just came to him about that big old fat nigga was jumping in that music video. That joke was hilarious, nigga.
Hey,
Nah, it was on when somebody did a skit dancing like them niggas.
what is it? Oh, song. Put it red.
Ain't but 3 of them. Ain't no but for 3.
You did 5 steps. Oh, song.
That's
Complete. He done named 5.
Well, incomplete ain't they song.
Nah.
That's Cisco's song.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's him. That's him by himself. He said you're rough. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Oates.
The group is incomplete.
The whole thing was they weren't coming to see them. They weren't coming to see him. Because when them niggas separated by themselves, niggas was still coming to see him. Say we'll listen to the fat niggas sing.
He was a fake Jerry Levert, that's why. Will never be another jail. He's trying to be another jail.
Gerald Levert. You know what they say his daddy said? His daddy said he didn't want him to get in the music business. And Gerald wanted to get in it anyway. Gerald Levert Sr. knew what was going on.
Sure, Jeff.
Yeah, and he said they couldn't sing. He said he knew what was going on.
You laid the foundation. What you thought?
Hey, and that's why he's trying to tell him, son, I don't want him to break your freshman seal. I don't want him to take your soul. You know what's going on here. So let's take a look at something else, right? Give me Colossians 2:11. Now this is important because before he becomes the son of Elohim, and now he has to circumcise all those in his household. So this is how we know this. We won't go through this directly, but you know, you read Yahushua son of Nun chapter 5. What happens in Yahushua son of Nun chapter 5? He had to circumcise the people the second time who were coming into the land, who were coming out of the wilderness of what? Sin, who weren't a part of the rebellion. So now you got Yahushua. What did they do to circumcise? They were at Gilgal or the rolling. So when you put Mashiach in the grave, what did they put on the sepulchre? See, that's when we was in there with mine and we was explaining for. See, you don't know what that means. See, because he was talking about, he was thinking that Joseph of Arimathea was with the people, was with the scribes, not knowing that it was the scribes and Pharisees that asked for the stone to be put on the sepulchre. For what reason? For the people not to say, oh, for them to come steal his body and say that he rose from the dead, and the last era be worse than the first. But he don't know the word like this for this aspect of it. That's why I didn't share it, because for no other reason, it wasn't gonna go nowhere. Not just with him, probably for the audience. That's not an audience of people who believe the word like that. I'm not dropping that type of dope on their flock. So when you go to Yahushua son of Nun, and we see this here, and the Malachim rolls the stone away, he is rolling off the iniquity of the wilderness, or circumcising them again after the coming out of the wilderness or the coming out of sin, because this is how Mashiach got circumcised twice. How did he get circumcised twice? Well, should we finna tell you? Colossians 2:11.
Circumcised.
No, he got. Well, I mean, you can say 3 times, but I'm talking about in his burial, Yahushua was circumcised twice.
And whom also you are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands.
The circumcision, you circumcised with what?
Made without hands.
Made without what?
Hands.
So that was the first time he put on his esteemed body or resurrected from the dead. He was circumcised. When the stone got rolled away, not only did he get circumcised, but the people got circumcised again. Go on with it, man.
And putting off the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Mashiach.
The circumcision of who?
Mashiach.
See, the circumcision of Mashiach ain't like the circumcision of Moses. See, Paul, I had something for this. Come on here to Exodus 4, man. Hold on one second. Okay, Exodus 4 and 20. Give me 4 and 21.
All right. It said, Yahuwah said unto Moses, when thou goest and return to Egypt, see that thou do all the wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand.
That's right.
But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go.
That's right.
And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus says Yahuwah of Yasharal, this is my son, even my firstborn.
Come on.
And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. If thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn.
It came to pass
by the way in the end that Yahuwah met him and sought to kill him.
And Zipporah
took a sharp stone.
What she did with it?
Cut off the foreskin of her son.
Cast it at his feet.
And said, surely a bloody husband are you to me.
Oh, give me bloody husband, Sibby. Yeah. What you got for bloody husband?
Bloody is dumb.
So we know that dumb. We don't know that that's dollar than me. That's the ruach at the door.
Your husband is katham. Son-in-law, daughter's husband, bridegroom, or husband.
Oh, bridegroom. Why is bride? Because see, Mashiach is not a husband yet. He the bridegroom. Ain't that what John said? He said when the bridegroom come, he that with him got to rejoice. So you got to understand something. Yahushua don't become the husband until he get here. What did Paul say? Who he espouse you to? He said, I espouse you as a chaste virgin to Mashiach. If you a spouse, you ain't a husband, you the bridegroom.
All right.
Ain't that what it said in Matthew 25 with the parable with the virgins?
That's right.
We see, guess what? Until the marriage is consummated, you a bridegroom.
All right.
See, you can enter into the covenant and you still a bridegroom. See, you ain't a husband until you consummate.
That's what they would call it fiance or today's time.
Yes, sir. Shalom, brother Shaw. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? See, the term bridegroom isn't used, you just say groom. You know what I'm talking about? Look up the origins of the word bridegroom. I got a little bit of time. I got to holler at all y'all gentlemen too outside, man.
A man on his wedding day or just before the event.
So they look at it as a man on his wedding day. See, Mashiach's wedding day ain't came yet. You ain't had the marriage supper of the Lamb yet. So he's the bridegroom.
They did for the revelation.
That's right. That's what it said.
Bridegroom is a man who is getting married, yet to be married.
Yet to be married. You know what I'm talking about? Now, why is this important? I know y'all ain't around here running around playing. Ain't nobody but Muffin D. And you capped out and mapped out.
That's an English term. That's
Yeah, it's an English word.
1604.
It's not even that old of a word. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at it to castigate the word. That's not, I didn't want to know the origin of it. Because they don't call men bridegrooms anymore. See, we see what in Hebrew they would call it. You'd be called you wouldn't be called a bride. You know what I'm saying? So she said you a bloody husband. Because the reason why I'm mentioning this is even if you're yet to be married, once the covenant is entered into, that is your wife, and you are due the respect that a husband is due according to the word. Because remember what it said with Mary and Joseph. How did it refer to them? As husband and, see, contrary to popular belief, It said that they were betrothed. Isn't that what it said? So that means they were in the betrothal period. And once that covenant agreement is entered into, that is his wife. See, they're not married until they have sex. But that's still his wife. Because what did it say? Don't be scared to take your what? Your wife. See, we're talking about an aspect of culturally how it's not the same now as then. Because see, like you said, now they would call it, oh, that's my fiance. In ancient times, that would have been your husband and that would have been your wife. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no fiance. No such thing exists as it pertains to the way of your hair. Once you decide that y'all gonna enter into a covenant agreement, you're married to that person.
That's what that means. I said that's what that means. That's the word. It's word
Betroth. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what, let's put it this way. Application of America is not the original application. Because if you betrothed, you married. That's how that goes. You are married. You know what I'm talking about? That's why the book say if you lay with a maiden who is betrothed, that man got a problem. Because you just laid with another man's wife.
Betrothed mean he paid. I mean that's right.
Yeah, that means you paid.
Right.
That's mine. That's me. I paid for that. You know what I'm talking about?
Property.
Now the time period, that's why Paul say if you got your maid, and he say it's better for you to go ahead and marry her, you ain't committed no sin because you done already paid for that. That's your wife. That's your wife.
Won't get it.
Because the sex consummates it, locks it in. You know how we know this? I'm trying to show you now because it's in the text. How do we know this in the text? That a woman can be betrothed, and if you ain't laid with her, she can be given to another man. No, that's a little different because he said he told him that was his sister.
But niggas used to pre-pray for their sons too.
Yeah, but there's an instance in the text where a woman was betrothed to a man and then she was given to another man. And he had not laid. Saul's daughter? No, not Saul's daughter.
Oh, you asked what's the instance?
There's an instance in the text.
That was David's daughter. That was David's wife.
He did. That ain't the one I'm talking about. Because he got one he did with the circumcision. That ain't the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about one where it's explicitly stated. Like right then and there.
He said his wife was given away?
Given to another man. And she was betrothed to a man. That did happen with David.
Okay. But what you referring to then?
Quran just said it, Samson.
Yeah. That's correct.
That happened to Samson.
That is. He ain't hit it yet.
And he had not laid with her. You know what I'm saying? He was pissed off about it.
Because it was a feast.
Come on, let's take a look at it.
They ain't want to matter.
What you referring to, Tia? Hold on. If you can ask me live, so I'm got to be guessing on what you're trying to ask.
Yeah, dodged that bullet. And he was not.
Let me know what you asking, so I don't misconstrue what you asking.
What I was actually saying was that what you're saying sounds very close to what they teach about the marriage doctrine.
No. What you gotta understand is sex consummates a marriage, but you gotta have a covenant first. See, what we're talking about is when the betrothal period is entered into, those two people are married, but the marriage isn't consummated until they have sex. So if they haven't had sex, what we finna see here with Samson, that woman can be given to another man. You know what I'm talking about? But sex alone, there has to be a betrothal. There has to be a covenant agreement entered in between the two parties, and the sex consummates. You know what I'm saying? You can have sex, but you're not married because there's no contract, there's no covenant, there's no agreement. That's just two people hunting.
All right.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure that I was preaching sex is marriage. Okay?
No, that's just two people hunting. Come on here, Judges 14:1.
It says Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, never a woman among the daughters of thy brother or among all thy people that thou hast going to take of the wife of the uncircumcised Philistines. And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was Yahuwah, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, where at that time.
So, like I said, right? It said his people didn't know. That set that up to say, hey, this is to take out the Philistines. They laughing because it says she pleases me well.
The betrothal, like
I read right there, they're betrothed.
Pay for the
He done paid for this woman. That's it. And guess what? It's going to refer to her as his wife. Drop down to verse 16.
Yes, sir. It says, and Samson's wife wept before him and said, thou dost but hate me and lovest me not. Put forth the riddle unto the children of my people and has not told it to me. And he said unto her, behold, I have
Hold on, back that up to verse 7 so they can see the rest. My bad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It said he went down and talked to the woman and she pleased Samson well.
So guess what, right? Now, this is another thing that you got to take into account. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Just because your people, your daddy might pick a man for you, that woman still has an option to say no.
That's right.
Because it says he went and talked with her. If it was just an aspect, that's who you marrying, it wouldn't be nothing to talk about. It wouldn't be nothing to talk about. Yeah, like, let me, hey, man, shoot, I'm trying to get with you. You know what I'm saying? You down with it? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. Come on, drop down to verse 16. I got the Quran. I'm trying to make sure we leave everything in order. Oh, we become Yahuwah's wife, Yahushua's wife, Mother Sharona, at his return. But see, technically, we are his wife because you're betrothed. He paid. See, I'm getting to that with the blood. See, he paid the bride price. See, when he spilled his blood, he paid the bride price. He paid the price of redemption. He paid the betrothal price. You know what I'm talking about? See, because you weren't redeemed with corruptible things like silver and gold from the vain conduct of your father, but the precious blood of Hamashiach, who was without spot and blemish. See, he bought you to be his old lady with his blood. Remember what he said? You can't redeem your brother from death in Psalm 49. You can't pay it in verse 9. Ain't nothing you can pay. That's why I was getting to with the circumcision, one that's bought in your house. Well, he bought you with his blood. That's what Paul told you was bought with a price.
All right.
If you was born in this house, that means if you were the house of Yasharal, you're going to have to be circumcised in the heart. You know what I'm talking about? If he paid for you with his blood, that's all mankind. You're going to have to be circumcised in the heart. Oh, if you're not of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you still going to have to be circumcised in the heart. Because he is a Yahudim, not one who's circumcised in the flesh, but in the heart. Because that's why we went to that Ezekiel 11 when he said, I'm going to give you a heart of what? And you're going to have to take that foreskin off your well, off that flesh. You're going to have to take it up off of that. And he said he got circumcised with circumcision that wasn't made with hands.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about? Now, see, I understand why Tia asked what she asked, because you know it's boys that teach that. You pull your wee out, that's your wife. See, we know how Yahuwah roll, boy. It's a covenant first.
Yes, sir. No wee.
It's a covenant first. And get what? We done read too. If you laid with a woman and she wasn't betrothed and it wasn't no covenant, and you pulled out your wee, you were going to make one. You were going to make one. You were going to make one with her. She was going to be your wife that day. It's only right, because guess what? Now you're going to have her out here looking like a whore. And we ain't going to operate like that. We ain't going to have no land full of whores. You're going to make her your wife. And guess what else he said you're going to have to do? You can never get rid of.
You got to pay for that.
Never get rid of.
You wanted them. Do it right. Now pay for it. Don't be a thief.
But I just want y'all to understand contextually, and culturally. Once, not saying, will you marry me? We ain't talking about no verbal agreements. You know what I'm talking about? There's no oral contracts in the house of Yasharal. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you got to put that on paper. Once y'all done entered into an agreement, but I can't say that because you can't have an oral covenant, because Jonathan and David did. You know what I'm talking about? You enter into an agreement with somebody, that's a wrap. You know what I'm talking about? That is a wrap. When I say a wrap, meaning those two people are married. Now, if it goes a step further and your daddy paid the dowry, the bride price, the betrothal fee, oh, y'all married. Ain't no, that's my fiance. Because if you, like you said, if you go to the strict definition, that's not your fiance. You saying that's my betrothal. I don't even make common sense. They're betrothed to one another. That means that's your husband and that's your wife. And that means the laws that pertain to how a man deals with his wife is on you, whether you having sex with her or not. Because that's what it said with Joseph and Mary. I said that was her husband. And he said, man, I'm going to put her away. I ain't touched it. And he said, fear not to take your wife. That's right. There you go. Mother Sharona just hit the nail on the head. That explained Leah and Jacob. Because guess what? Jacob didn't lay with Leah.
All right.
He worked them 7 years. He didn't lay with Leah, but the contract had been made. That was his wife. He didn't lay with neither one of them until the 14 years was up.
You could have been hanged the whole time.
The whole time.
All right.
Both of them was his wives, though, and he was their husband, and he was responsible. Because when it was time for him to leave, what he told LeBron, give me my wives. And he still hadn't laid with him yet. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just trying to, I know why she asked that. Because you know, Brew be on that. Now we talking about what the book say. Because you can see our wife right now, even though he the bridegroom and you a spouse to him, that's still your husband. That's still your husband. But you'll call him your husband, you'll call him daylight when he get here. That's what the book say. All right. Come on, man. 14 to 16, man.
All right. It said Samson's wife wept before him and said, "Thou dost hate and love me
I
not."
didn't want you to see how it said it called him what? Samson's what?
He said,
Wife.
"Wife."
That's what it say now.
Say that.
Come on.
You have put forth a riddle unto the children of my people and has not told me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it to my father nor my mother, and shall I tell you?
He said, I ain't told. See, this, you know, this is another thing too. See, they were talking about this. We were listening to Judah talk about this. You know, Judah fool. When he was talking about Tom Brady, them man. You know what I'm saying? See, he had the right mindset from the dump street. If I ain't told my mom and my daddy, I ain't telling you. Because you know what the biggest problem is that in this society, men are raised to make their whole life, mind, thoughts, and drive revolve around a woman. And it ain't never supposed to be like that. Because you know why? That's the opposite of the divine order. Your life's supposed to revolve around Yahuwah. Your husband, his life don't revolve around you. So as a man, the woman's life she's supposed to be revolving around you. You ain't supposed to be revolving around her. That's why the world out of whack right now. Because guess what happens when you doing that? And he showed a picture when Tom Brady had a T-shirt on talking about I love Giselle. He looked like the wife. I'm not walking around here with no T-shirt talking about I love my wife, and my wife he got one on. I love Giselle. I don't love Giselle because she don't love me. That's like Yahuwah walking around with a T-shirt on saying he loved Johnny, but Johnny don't love him though. That makes sense to you?
You the dog.
You the dog. Cause what the book say? I love them that love me.
All right. That's right.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you to show you how backwards the world is to how it can cause you to eat in a way against Yahuwah as a man based on your conduct. Because if you turn around and you done made your wife be your whole focus and everything you do revolving around her, guess how you gonna look at Yahuwah? Because you his wife. You're gonna look at him the same way. Because looking at, I'm doing it. So he gotta do it too. That's why, unfortunately, that's why a lot of brothers who be online look at men who are married and say that you in America that you're gonna have to simp to be able to maintain being married. Plus, you're gonna have to compromise your manhood and masculinity based on the side that you live in. And you know Yahuwah would never do that. He's not compromising Elohim and mightiness and power to appease us. He's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing that you can do to him to cause him to do that. See, in America, that can be done. You know, in America, that's done by the wife withholding sex or telling her husband what she ain't gonna do. But we know what the book say about that with who? Vashti. He called for her, she ain't come, right? What the men came and said, man, you let her get away with that, man. All the women in your kingdom gonna buck against their husband. See, a lot of brothers and sisters don't ain't familiar with that. They overread that. They read right past it. And they read right past what he gave the decree for all women to honor their husband. And you think Paul pulling this out of his booty hole.
He asked her to be naked in front of everybody.
It don't even say that. You making stuff up. Yeah. He asked her to be naked. It don't say he asked her to be naked. He called for her presence. What? No, see, this is what people be doing, man. That's right, Quran. People be trying to make Elohim in their image.
They just don't know how to read. That's right.
Now, come on. No, ain't got to do all that, man. We ain't got to do it.
Make it straight.
I make it plain and make it straight. I make it plain and make it straight.
Make it straight.
That's what we talked for the first 30 minutes.
No, I make it plain and make it straight. That's bad teaching. That's real bad.
That was a while ago.
That's Rashad.
Yeah, that's where it was at.
Just a second, yeah. I'm gonna take care of this one here. I'm gonna take care of this one here. That's bad teaching.
He said, yeah, that's what that was. Exactly.
Look at Esther, chapter 1. Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehaman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, Agbagatha, Zahar, Carcass, the 7 chamberlains, and served in the presence of Xerxes the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty. She was fair to look on. So this ain't got nothing to do with them seeing the booty. This has something to do with seeing the beauty. Because guess what? You know what I'm talking about? Because unfortunately, what people don't realize is, as a king, you know, you had the most beautiful women in the realm. That's a part about being a king, man. Look how beautiful my wife is. Say, but Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by chamberlains. Therefore, the king was wroth and is burned in him. See, that's the same token. Every time somebody come bring you the word and tell you come to you and you don't come, you a Vashti nigga. Because guess what? What's the chamberlains for? To bring the word from the king. So guess what? Every apostle, every prophet, every pastor, every teacher, every evangelist is operating in the position of the chamberlain of the king to bring the word for you to come to the presence of the king. And when you don't come, you a Vashti nigga.
The minister of the state.
That's right. You know what I'm talking about? He said, I want you to come before me so I can see your beauty. Don't the book tell you that should serve him in the beauty of Kadas, to beautify yourself in Kadas, and you don't want to come. You a Vashti nigga. That's what you is, you wicked bastard. Then the king said to the wise men who knew the time, king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. So he said, this is for everybody who know law. What Paul said. I write to those who know what?
Know the law.
Okay.
All right.
So the king Xerxes had good sense. He said, I'm going to talk to them who know law and judgment. See, too many niggas who picking out the book, they don't know neither one, much less one or the other. And they don't know the times. Verse 14. Next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marcina, Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face and was sat the first in the kingdom. What are we doing to the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she have not performed the commandment of King Xerxes by the chamberlains. So they said, what we ought to do toward the law? Yes, ma'am. Let's see what it says. Memucan answered the king and princess, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in the province of King Xerxes. For the deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Xerxes commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, and she came not. See, they had an understanding that we don't have now. You have to moderate women. Because the minute that they knew the minute them women would have found out that Vashti did this, that they all would have bucked their husbands in the whole land, and that would have caused chaos and destruction. And that's the last thing they want. That's the last thing. You know what he said? She not only offended against Xerxes, but the princes and all the people. And if we allow this to go down, all the women will despise their husbands. Say, shall the ladies of Persia and Medes say this day unto the king's princes, which have heard the deed of the queen, thus too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him. Let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered. That Vashti come no more before King Xerxes, and let the king give her royal state unto another that is better than she. Right. See, that's what the text tell you. And what? He'll get rid of you and put somebody in there that's better than you. You know when you see another instance of that? Saul and David. Oh, you don't want to do what I say? I'll get rid of you and put somebody there who's better than you. See, that's the same thing what happened with Nabal and David and Abigail. Because see, you got women. So I'm going to stay with him because he a fool. I guarantee you this here. If you ain't there one of these hoes down here talking about their husband, the son of Belial. and tell another man, my husband, a son of Belial, and Folly is with it, because Nabal is his name. But guess what she ain't never do? She never disrespected him, because it said she was a woman of understanding, and she also interceded on his behalf and said, please don't kill him. I know he's stupid. She said, this offense won't be nothing to you when you rise up in your kingdom, and Yahuwah faithful. So guess what he did? I'm going to kill that whole nigga and give you to a real. I'm going to get him out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Listen what it said. And when the king's decree, which he shall make published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. He's the king and the princess. And the king did according to the word of Memucan. And he sent letters to the king's province, and every province according to the right thereof, and to every people after the language, that every man should bear rule in his own house. He said every man should do what? Bear rule. In his own what? Get what? Mashiach bear rule in his house. The bishop rule in that house, and a man rule in his own house. See, I've been telling y'all that for years. And I tell you that house, or you rule your own house. Now, this is the king of a whole province, and what he said to write a decree for all the men to rule there. I mean, you got to have governance in your own home. And that it should be published according to the language of every people. And what? Israel was there. And if it's in the word, guess what that means? Yahuwah stamped that. All right. See, the women who probably you would listen to that, why they had a problem with it, because it stated that they needed to honor their husband. Yeah. They wanted to make it seem like Xerxes was asking her to do something pervert, and therefore I ain't got to listen to my husband. See, that's a wicked woman. She ain't a God. She ain't a God, because anybody with common sense know you ain't supposed to listen to nobody who's going to tell you to go outside the word. And what type of king who got a king would tell his wife to come butt naked in front of other men? See, that's an aspect of where you turn it around looking at, you know what I'm talking about? People who don't understand how men value their wife. Because ain't no man want no men looking at his wife. That's why when you look at these dudes who rich, man, and they old ladies walk around here half naked, man, ain't nowhere in the world Jay-Z love Beyonce let that woman come out the door looking like that. You cool with niggas lusting after your wife? You got a whole bunch of dudes. I'm just referring to people who you can think of off the top of your head. You know what I'm talking about? Around here, man, ain't no man of no value want nobody looking at his wife. I don't want nobody. I don't need you looking at all that, man. That's just and that's just on the aspect of you moving around. But I'm talking about attention. I'm talking about, hey man, look at my wife naked. She got a great body. That's goofy niggas. Ain't no real man doing that.
Yeah. What it look like king doing that? No.
What he look like asking his wife to come butt naked in front of other men? No, that's what she got in her mind. That's a woman who hate men. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Misandry is real big in this country. It's a lot of women, they hate men. So they'll come up with the worst possible thing they can think of to what a man would do to a woman. Because I'm down with you. Most women in this country don't give a damn what a man wants. And most women in this country don't give a damn what a man likes. And you know how we know that? Because we don't care what Yahuwah want, and we don't care what Yahuwah like. That's how we know that. You know what I'm talking about? But we're going to start right now for now. It's about 6 o'clock, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all time this evening, man. Bless out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing, man, we're going to pick this up on Wednesday with a little bit more with the circumcision. We done started it, you know what I'm talking about? But, you know, yeah, man, that ain't what it is, man. People be wilding, man. Everything a parallel to Elohim. You supposed to have honor for Elohim. That's why that's in there. That's why that's in there.
Yeah. But I was thinking about Israel and his wife, like you said, you supposed to be setting an example to all the other nations.
That's it. That's all.
All the other nations will be fouled.
Everybody gonna be fouled. It's gonna cause problems in the realm. But again, man, blessings out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Yahuwah willing, man, till Wednesday. All y'all on Clubhouse, man. I appreciate